choir. Let's clap hands for the choir. Let's clap hands for DP's choir. Thank you very much. All those that are going to present messages of support, let them be found a seat front here. Those that will present messages of support, and it's only because of availability of space this side. They must find space here so that they are not far. Can the bus be moved from there to this side? The bus, let it be moved to this side, not there. Otherwise, I will call traffic to impound it. Thank you very much. Welcome to the World AIDS Day commemoration, which the theme is communities make the difference. Cheka impilo. Communities make difference yourselves. Cheka impilo. World AIDS Day commemoration held in Northwest in Dr. Kenneth Kaunda in Matlosana sub-district. Can we now then call the executive mayor of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, Councillor Barei Sikhoto Musiane, to come and do welcoming remarks? All of you that I will call, it's 5 minutes. Councillor Barei, she's still on the teams that are out. Can we call the mayor of Matlosana? She will take the space of the mayor of Matlosana later. Yes. You don't need notes for welcoming.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Let me firstly greet our Honorable Deputy President, our ministers, also our Deputy Ministers that are present here, our MECs, and you, Program Director, and also our Premier. Let me also say welcome to all of you, including our Executive Mayor, Mayors, Speakers that are here, our councillors, all our province members that have attended our activity. You are most welcome in Matlosana as the city that has hosted this World AIDS Day. Thank you very much. You are all welcome.
Thank you very much. Can the Deputy Minister of Health be placed here? That's almost hiding him. In the front, Deputy Minister. Then we will go with all protocols observed. Then we will go to the first message of support on the sector of people living with HIV and AIDS. And the speaker is Mr. Tulufelo Mahalenyani. Okay. Let's call the statement of support from Labour. And the person is going to be the Provincial Secretary of COSATU. I've seen Provincial Secretary of SANCO. I've seen Provincial Secretary of the ANC, Comrade Chauke Shomane. Provincial Secretary of COSATU, message of support on behalf of Labour.
Thank you, Program Director, Deputy President, and Minister of Health, and the ministers and deputy ministers who are all here, councillors, the MEC, the Premier, amongst us. We are here to give a message of support from Labour, and we note that South Africa is among the countries that has got a high prevalence rate of HIV/AIDS. And amongst that, we know that the government has done a lot in trying to provide treatment for HIV and AIDS, but we believe that a lot more can still be done. But it's not for government alone to do this work in terms of providing treatment for HIV and AIDS. It is for all of us to take the responsibility to make sure that we all get tested, and those who test positive, they must all be on treatment, and those who test negative, they must remain negative for the rest of their life. We should also make sure that those who are positive, we are able to contain the virus and we reduce the infection rate that we are having in this country. We also need to strengthen the civil society forum within our country so that we don't see what happened in the 5th administration, that the Provincial AIDS Council was disbanded, and now we have to relaunch and start afresh instead of going ahead in terms of what we are supposed to be doing. And we must strengthen our work with the society forum from all sectors of society in terms of what we are doing in this thing. But at the same time, we must also strengthen the work that we do in the Department of Health, in particular when we support or when we treat those who have been victims of gender-based violence. We must strengthen our capacity when we deal with the forensic services, when we deal with the gender-based violence, and we must improve our response to gender-based violence. We must, by all respect, condemn the scourge of gender-based violence. We are now called the Republic of Gender-Based Violence, and we cannot be labeled as such as South Africa. I thank you, Program Director.
Thank you very much. This is World International AIDS Day and the re-establishment of the Provincial Council on AIDS is graced by the presence of SANAC plenary members. There they are. Can you all stand, SANAC? SANAC plenary members. You don't know yourselves. We have civil society in full force. Civil society is here. We have members of parliament and members of the provincial legislature. We have councillors and we have mayors and executive mayors. We have in our midst the mayor of Machosana, who replaced the mayor of the district there. Maitu? And we have Jose Mushwete, who is still standing in for the chair of the House of Traditional Leaders. A Jose can't stand up. Please greet the Jose. Kali Hofi Bakaesu. Hofi. A Jose can't stand up. And there's ministers and deputy ministers. I must just confirm that I see that all levels are represented. There's a delegation for UNAIDS. Delegation for UNAIDS. Clap hands for them. Donor funders for our program. There's also a delegation from the business sector. Business, stand business, so that people can see you. When we're arguing for reinvestment, we mean yourselves. Yes, thank you very much. In front here, we have co-chair of SANAC, Ms. Steve Litzike from Northwest. Steve, stand up, Steve. Steve is from Northwest, not Gauteng. He resides in Gauteng. He's a Northwest person. Then we have UN family, and it signifies the fact that it's an International World AIDS Day. We have UN family led by Miss Winnie Byanyima. Clap hands for UN, United Nations, if you don't know. Okay? We have the hosting premier, the premier of Northwest, Professor Job Mukhoro. Lihofi for Prof. Okay? We have the hosting minister, the Minister of Health, Dr. Zwelini Mkhize. And we have deputy ministers. The deputy ministers, can you stand? Deputies, deputy ministers, former mayor of Dr. KK. You forgot that you are a deputy minister. The past mayor, Ospinki, stand up please. Dr. Pasha. Hey. MECs, can you stand, those who are already here? Yes. Executive mayors and mayors. My deputies, MMCs for health in districts, my deputies, MMCs for health. Matsoho for MMCs for health. Okay. I will not introduce the main speaker, but I'm sure you know why you are here. You are convened here by the Deputy President of the Republic. Deputy President Didi Mabuza. Can you stand up and clap hands of the Deputy President? Stand up! Stand up! Hands for the Deputy President! Thank you very much. We are also happy, Deputy President, that in your own wisdom you decided to take the event to Northwest. Many provinces could have led this program. Let's call now the message of support from business. And business has chosen Harmony to represent them. We are going to be addressed by Dr. Tumi. Hello, Doc. She's one of the doctors who are refusing to be called doctors. Clap hands for Dr. Tumi from Harmony. I see we have speakers, we have chief whips here. You are all recognized. And ward councillors. Dr. Tumi.
Dumelang kaofela. Sanbonani. Thank you, Program Director, for allowing me this opportunity, and I think it's proper to allow me the opportunity to greet our dignitaries, the Honorable Deputy President, the ministers, all ministers, Minister of Health, Dr. Zwelini Mkhize, all ministers present and the deputy ministers present, the office of the Premier as well, led by Prof. Mukhoro, and our MEC in Health, Tate Madoda Sambata as well, and the executive mayor of the district, and all dignitaries present in today. I hope protocol will be observed. I'm on the program, Doctor, we do melo, but I must be honest that I always call myself as Dr. Dumi. So some people, when I say Dr. Dumi, they probably think I'm gonna dance right now on the stage. So let me tell you, I would not dance on the stage today. However, I am Dr. Dumi, on behalf of Harmony Gold Mines and the mining industry, And I stand here before you on this most important days in the calendar, but even more for our country, as it serves to remind us that we are still in the midst of one of the deadliest diseases. Today, as governments, non-governmental organizations, industry, and individuals across the world assemble to observe this day, and we in South Africa join them, mindful of the reality that we happen to be the top of the list of the countries that have suffered most under the burden of the disease. Obviously, I mean, according to the latest, that 7.4 million people are living with HIV/AIDS. We are constantly reminded as a sector as well, as a business sector as well, by business sector, our government, and our various experts, that as a country we are not doing too bad, in fact, in combating the epidemic. However, as new infections have decreased, we are still not happy in terms of the rate of the reduction of the HIV/AIDS. And we are aware that there are a few programs that were launched in South Africa, Check Impilo, which was aimed at addressing those that are still living with HIV that needs to have treatment. As a mining sector, I am also proud to say that we have also a program that's called Masoise program. In the Masoise program, it's also it's a multi-stakeholder program. This program is also led by our CEOs who are focused at reduction of fight against TB, HIV, occupational diseases. And we've also extended our program, not just TB, HIV, and occupational diseases, but also we are also looking at non-communicable diseases, especially mental health, because mental health is also one of the prevalence in people living with HIV/AIDS. And as a council, I think 35 years ago, as a business sector, Mineral Council and the members in it, we have embarked on a reduction of HIV/AIDS, and we also started treatment very long time ago, almost 35 years into it, that we have done that. And as a mining sector, it remains critical that we continue focus on the treatment, prevention, and ensuring that our employees start treatment immediately and continue for treatment for the rest of their life. The fact that we continue to see infection persisting means that this battle is far from over, and we are aware that HIV-related stigma is still a major challenge. Hence, our employees' education in our business sectors are beginning to introduce what you call undetectable, it calls untransmissible, which raises awareness for our employees that they must be aware that as long as they take the treatment, the virus become undetectable, then there is no way that we can transmit to one another. All that efforts are necessary not only to benefit the industry, but we hope that they will have a positive impact on the nation and the region health. However, much has helped as a country to having the biggest treatment program in the world. What should we worry about as an industry, as a mining industry and all business sector industry, is preventing new infections, as these are implications for our employees and our industry remaining competitive. I think for me it's also proper as a mother, as a woman as well, to also talk about, lastly, to talk about the rate of infection or the high prevalence of infection around young women young women and girls, more especially around the 16 days of activism around gender abuse and women and young women violence. We're standing here and challenge each and every man in this room to do the right thing, to protect our young girls and our young women in ensuring that we reduce the rate of the infection. The road is still long ahead, but we are up to the task at hand. And I do believe that together we can fight it, and together we can be strong. Thank you.
Doctor. Thank you very much. Okay. Business. Harmony was representing business, but I know there's the executive Wa Health, Wa Mineral Council. Mineral Council is former Chamber of Mines, Dr. Balfour. Can you stand up, Dr. Balfour? Mineral Council, it's no longer Chamber of Mines, it's Mineral Council. The next speaker, I think that I was waiting for them to come and speak. Remember, there's UNAIDS, there's United Nations, then there's United States, which is part of the greatest funders in the program, and it is represented here by the Deputy Chief of Mission in U.S. Embassy, Mr. David J. Young. Can we clap hands for Mr. Young? Clap hands.
Honorable Deputy President, Honorable Minister, Honorable Premier, Honorable Mayors, UNAIDS Executive Director, SONIC Deputy Chairperson, partners, friends, and colleagues in the fight to defeat HIV and AIDS. Good morning. I'm delighted to be here on behalf of the American people to celebrate World AIDS Day with you. Since 2004, the United States President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, or PEPFAR, has partnered with the government of South Africa to support HIV prevention, care, and treatment programs. Helping to save lives and end the HIV epidemic is the United States' most important undertaking in South Africa. And since the beginning, Americans and South Africans have worked side by side. As you've heard today, all eyes are focused towards reaching epidemic control by the end of next year and fulfilling President Ramaphosa's 2018 goal to put 2 million more people living with HIV on life-saving antiretroviral treatment. With this ambitious goal in mind, PEPFAR's current investment in South Africa is unprecedented for us, reaching more than 11 billion rand this year alone. That is the largest investment the United States government has ever made on any health challenge at any country around the world, ever. PEPFAR partners with more than 100 organizations, includes several that are providing services here today. And we support more than 2,600 facilities across the country. Since 2004, our partnership with the Department of Health has deepened, and we've seen extraordinary progress in South Africa's HIV response. Just this week, Minister Mabuza launched an exciting new HIV treatment drug, TLD. And this is the culmination of years of advocacy that will help South Africa reach epidemic control faster. With TLD, people living with HIV experience fewer side effects and have improved quality of life. They can reach viral suppression quicker and reduce the risk of developing medication resistance. We know, as this year's theme so clearly communicates, that our progress to this point would not be possible without the tireless efforts of community organizations, activists, and civil society across the country. Communities make the difference. In recognition of this, the American people directly fund community-based organizations active in the HIV response across South Africa through PEPFAR's Community Grants program. And members of the community often know best the challenges that their neighbors and friends face and the solutions that will best serve their needs. This year, the PEPFAR Community Grants Program is supporting 56 organizations. And I'm proud to say that one of our colleagues in the fight against HIV here today, Steve Letsiki, is at the helm of one of these recipients. Let's give Steve and his organization a big response, and her organization. We have another community grants alum just a stone's throw from this stadium. Hospice Mabuza is living Communities Make a Difference every single day. And they provide home-based care and support groups that focus on adherence to treatment, making healthy choices, and combating stigma. And let's congratulate Hospice for their great work as well. Members of these groups have seemingly endless stories of hope about how the dedicated staff have lifted them up, sometimes literally. Multiple people have told us that Hospice has taught them how to walk again after falling ill without treatment. Another support member spoke to how Hospice not only revives people physically, but spiritually. She told us, "Initially I was afraid to talk about my situation, but when I came to Hospice, I became open. I was taught to accept myself, so that when I see other people in my situation, I can be able to help them. Now I can talk because I am free, because of the teachings of Hospice." But no person or organization can bring about change alone. We must all work together. All of us here today have a role to play in the fight against HIV and AIDS. We need to defeat this terrible disease, and if we work together, we can. When government and international donors partner with civil society, community organizations, and traditional and faith-based leaders, we can save many, many lives. To reach epidemic control, we must bring more people living with HIV onto treatment. And to do so, we recognize that we need to do more to address the very human reasons why people do not immediately start treatment or why they don't stick with it. And that is why PEPFAR has engaged in an intensive effort in partnership with the Department of Health to implement new initiatives aimed at ensuring that clients remain at the center of the healthcare experience and feel welcome in their community facilities. We are extending clinic hours and increasing the number of convenient medication pickup points so that people don't have to wait in endless queues just to collect their treatment. We are also meeting people where they are, expanding community-based outreach teams, and reconnecting with people who've stopped taking treatment through SMS, phone calls, and home visits. Our work together with communities is making a difference. And while our recent efforts have improved the HIV response, we still have a tremendous amount of work to do together to reach epidemic control. And we cannot do it without all of us working together. So our message to all South Africans is this: get tested and know your status. If you are HIV positive, start treatment immediately and stick with it. And for those who may have stopped taking treatment, make plans to go to your nearest facility as soon as possible. You will be welcome back. Understand the power of you equals you. Undetectable equals untransmittable. And when you stay on treatment, you become undetectable, which greatly reduces the chances of transmitting the virus to others. If you are HIV negative, learn about your prevention options and choose what is right for you to stay HIV negative. So, in closing, as we close out this year of 2019, we congratulate all the districts that have made progress towards achieving the UNAIDS 90-90-90 goals for epidemic control. As we continue to strive for sustainable achievement, across all districts and all demographics. Working together, we can look forward to sharing more celebratory announcements in the coming year. Thank you all for all that you do, and thank you for your efforts to beat HIV and AIDS. Thank you.
What is available here, it's line language, sign language interpretation. Sign language interpreter is this side. Please focus, honorable members. Focus, honorable members. Thank you very much. Can I then recheck people living with HIV and AIDS if Chulufelo has arrived? Chulufelo, anyone from the sector? Because if I go to formal other speeches, it would be difficult to come back to them. Anyone from the sector around here? Can we clap hands for her? This side. Thank you very much. Clap hands. You should have been clapping for more because the advantage is that the replacement is a female. Please clap hands for people living with HIV and AIDS. Clap hands. Thank you very much.
Our Deputy Minister, Minister of Health, Premier of Northwest, Ntate Jock Mukoro, Ntate Aruna, and Ntate Sambata, MEC Health, ministers who are here, mayors, councillors, all dignitaries present. I greet you all. Bakhaitshi dumelang. Ala ala bokonu phirima ala ala. Can I please correct this? I'm saying this because if it wasn't about us, people living with HIV to come out, there was not going to be this day today. Honoring this day today, can we all stand up as we are starting to commemorate this day? Because this day is to commemorate people who passed. But to both about HIV, we have to remember those people. There is no candle, there is not nothing. I'm sorry to say this, but because we are honoring those people, for us who are still living, we have to do it. As part of the civil society of the Northwest, and a person living with HIV with others like me, as we are people living with HIV, we acknowledge that today we are going to launch the PCA. Can we clap our hands for that? If it wasn't us, the MEC for Health knows that. We went to his office and told him that we want the PCA to be back. Can we all join our hands as we are going to commemorate this day? Because it's very important. That's the message of support that I'm going to do. Can we all join hands to show a symbol of hope that one day we shall overcome. That's the purpose of the day. As HIV is a concern to South Africa, South Africa has seen that we must get treatment for all without checking the CD4 count. A pregnant woman tested HIV positive immediately must get the treatment. Even if we are still having women who are getting children to have PCR being positive, and that thing is still touching my heart, because something is not right to our women. Why are they doing this? HIV has been there, but what I believe is that one day we shall overcome, because God is great. Mudimu utlo go raraba. So can we bow our heads to honor our comrades who died of HIV and AIDS, and to say, people like us who are living with HIV, forward we go, backward never. Those who are on treatment, they are going to be virally suppressed. Those who are not on treatment, they are going to get the treatment. Those who have never tested, they are going to get them. That's my message of support. I thank you all.
Thank you very much. Can we now welcome and call to stage Mabuza on behalf of the House of Traditional Leaders? Can you all stand up? And only those who would not stand should remain seated. All stand, clap hands in welcoming of Khosi. And welcome Mabuza for the message. Thank you very much.
Ke a leboga. Program Director, ke lebogela tšhono mo boemong jwa dikgosi tsa bokone bophirima go ema fa go tla go tlisa molaetsa wa tsholofelo le molaetsa wa tshegetso le maikano a go dira mmogo le botlhe le puso ya Aforika Borwa mo ntweng kgatlhanong le bolwetse bo bo gailang setšhaba sa rona le malwetse a mangwe a loago a go utlwisiwa botlhoko ga bana le bomme mo Aforika Borwa. Mme pele ke dira yalo, ntumeleng ke observing the protocol, ke dumedise motlatsa presidente Ntate Mabuza, ke dumedise mo premier wa bokone bophirima Re Mokgoro, ke dumedise letona la rona la pholo mo Aforika Borwa Minister Mkhize, bakhuduthamaga ba bokone bophirima ba ke ba bonang ba tlile ka bontsi go tla go tshegetsa tiro e, bo majoro ba rona ba ba leng fa ba kgaolo and district, ke dumedise gape Motlatsa modula stilo wa SANEC Steve Letsike re motlotlo ka wena ka gore o tswa mo provinceng ya rona ya Bokone Bophirima. The private sector, business fraternity, labor unions that are here and supporting the program, the UN family that has been supportive of all the programs of fight against HIV and AIDS and all other illnesses in our country. Let me say, as the House of Traditional Leaders, we stand here to support the program of fight against HIV and AIDS and all other social ills, gender-based violence. And we also want to say, maybe people have been thinking that it's a taboo for traditional leaders to be standing again here and to be counted as also participant and activist against the fight and social ills. We stand here also to make sure that the stereotypes that exist in the institution of traditional leadership and also the stereotypes that exist in our communities to think that traditional leaders cannot become activists against HIV and AIDS. I think from today onwards, you must count us in. We want to demystify the fact that traditional leaders cannot participate. We are here to honor those that have succumbed to the illness. We are also stand here to come and support the program. And to the Premier, we are also saying we are very humbled and very appreciative of the fact that today you are going to launch Provincial AIDS Council. We are also want to appeal to the Deputy President to say the SANEC, the PACs in all the country must be political organizations because they are in charge of lives of the people. We are here also saying we are pledging our unwavering support to all the programs on HIV and AIDS, gender-based violence that are aimed at reducing, even to eradicate all elements of HIV and AIDS. We are here also to say a program e modimo a inisetse pula e tswelle itie aluta continua against HIV and AIDS. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Khosi. We are also joined by the National TB Ambassador, Mr. Thabo Pelesane. Can you stand, Putin? Can you clap hands for our National TB Ambassador? He's from Matlosana local municipality, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, Northwest as a province. Can I call now Hani to try come to the podium, or you are going to address there? There's a request that those who are putting up on screens must put the sign language on this side too, so that people living with disabilities can see the sign language. And the request is that that space must be meant for people living with disabilities, so that it's easy for them to access services on the back of that space. Sign language, please beam it also on this side. Makosika sema libongwe malibongwe 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 imitola mafumadia libongwe imitola mafumadia libongwe I proceed.
Greetings all. Hello.
Yes.
Dumelang. Good afternoon. Viva to the people living with HIV, viva. Viva to the people living with disability, viva. I'd first like to acknowledge our Deputy President, Minister Dr. Mkhize, Premier of the Northwest, and our Health MEC, Mr. Madoda Sambata. We thank you that your team had led the re-establishment of the PCA under Mama Margaret Mokhotu. Ke a dumedisa gape, dumelang. Batho ba Dr. KK, dumelang. Our fellow activists, dumelang. Minister and Premier of the provinces and members of the executive, we thank you for honoring this day for us people living with HIV. I'm a young person living with HIV, fighting the epidemic, the new infections, the young people living with HIV. Our executive mayor, members of the Memorial Committee responsible for health and councillors, we present to you all this day. I'm sorry, I'm running out of breath because I came in a rush. Firstly, I'm overwhelmed by today. We had a visitor, a very special visitor at my home. We had Bomama coming to visit my home this morning. And I said to Mr. Moyepi, I feel like the day could just end. My day is okay, my day is complete. I could just go back to bed and take my medication more motivated and knowing good and very well that I've got a brighter tomorrow living with HIV. So our leaders, I thank you for honoring this day. I normally say HIV is not for the 1st of December only. HIV is every day because we live with this chronic every day. I don't call it a death-threatening disease, nah. I call it a chronic that we can overcome. A chronic that we determine as to say, how are you going to live with it? The same as the disability. Disability, I think when I came in, you all saw that I was in crutches. 5 months back, I was in a wheelchair. But who determined how she wants to live? It was me. And I normally say, the woman in the mirror is what makes you. So when I wake up in the morning and I feel all hope is gone, I always look for my mirror. My daughters know and they will say, but mama, how can you sorry. So my encouragement is that always honor the mirror plus the person on the mirror, because you can tell that person what your determinations are and you shall conquer. As I go back to the speech, today I remember Mama Prudence Mbele, a very strong, determined, committed woman that had introduced me to this world of HIV. I remember when I first saw her, she said, young lady, what's wrong with you? And I laughed. And she said, wow, your smile brightened up the whole room. Can I smile for you? Yes. Should I stand up and smile for you? Yes. Now, where do we see HIV? Can you see HIV in the smile? You can't see HIV. Can you see meningitis on the smile? You can't. And that's what makes me. Mr. Deputy, did you see the HIV on the smile? Keda, do you, Mr. Steve, is also one of the people that I live with. Do you ever see the HIV on the smile?
You must sit down. According to the doctor, you must sit down.
My apology.
Yes. I can see you are getting agitated, you're standing up. Sit down.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Deputy. That's the determination. I told my mind I could stand up. I'll just follow protocol. Today, I'm excited to see everyone in this tent honoring this day. But my plea is to have World AIDS Day every day. We have young people becoming infected on a daily basis. Yet we are there giving awareness. We've got health facilities that are giving awareness. And we don't understand. Community, in order for them, to finally believe